Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Friday edition of Developer Dynasty for Draft Day Sports Pro Football 2021. We've got a lot of exciting news this week to get to with some of the new improvements, and as everybody has been waiting very eagerly for, an announcement on First Access. So we'll do that tonight during the stream. Want to welcome in the developer and genius behind the greatest text football sim game on the market today, in my opinion. Brooks, welcome and say hello to your adoring fans.
Hello, everyone.
I love doing the intro every week. I get more and more creative with it for Brooks.
You're going to have to start going a full hour if you keep adding on to it.
As always, I thank our followers. We've acquired a few more this week. Hopefully, if we have new listeners to the stream tonight, you'll hit that follow button and make sure your notifications are on so that when we go live, you know. Also, thank you, of course, to our subscribers, whether you are subscribing with the monthly payment subscription or the free Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime subscription. We appreciate that. It supports our efforts with this channel. If you're using either of those, remember you have to re-up the sub every month, especially if you're on that free one. So it gives us credit for it every single month. Otherwise, your subscription will drop off after a month. So, Seasoned Vet, hello. I'm the chat box. Welcome, as always. Seasoned Vet has been one of our most avid followers here on the stream. So welcome, Seasoned Vet. And I know everybody's excited for the First Access announcement, but we're going to hold off on that for just a little bit and start talking tonight with some of the new features. One of the things that I was excited to find out that had been added is a weekly gains chart for the players. So if you pull up the player card in the ratings progression tab, there's going to be a chart here that has their year-over-year progressions. And one thing I like about the chart is, if it gets too crowded here, you can click off the ones you don't want to see, and you just want to see one particular item. For his year-over-year progression, you can see that. But the thing that's interesting is this training log, and I'm going to skip ahead to a player that has some entries here. So you can see that this log is showing some changes and the time that those changes took place. So Brooks, you want to give a little bit better explanation on what this log does?
Sure. The training system has been set up for a while where it has a combination of training camp improvements and it has weekly training improvements that can be incurred. So depending on how you set up your training for your weekly setup, you will get players that go up or go down depending on how aggressive you are with those settings. So we wanted to be able to show the user that there are training events happening from week to week as players go up and go down. The chart itself doesn't change. It only changes as you roll over from season to season. So this allows you, during a season to see how your coaching staff is affecting the training schedules of the players. So it's a nice feature to have in there so that people can actually see that their training week to week does matter.
Yeah, I like that. I also noticed something new that I haven't seen before on this card. You want to tell me, and this is totally, we didn't script this part, so hopefully this is a good question. You want to tell me what the star button does up here?
Yeah, the star button. We have started doing builds, and I let a couple of guys test out the installers in the build process just to make sure we were going in the right direction there. And the first thing one of them mentioned was that the watch list wasn't working. And even though he said nobody uses the watch list, I think it's an interesting feature to be able to star players that you want to keep an eye on. And so when I fixed the watch list screen under player search, I went ahead and needed a way to add a player to put them on or off the watch list. So that's what that star is going to be. It's kind of whether you're watching a player or you're marking them as favorite or whatever. That's what that button is doing. So yeah, sorry I sprung that one on you. I know you weren't expecting that.
I like that. I think that's really intuitive. It kind of reminds me of some of the apps. I do some of these trading card apps and stuff like that. Not that I have any free time for anything, but I waste a few minutes a day doing that. And I like the star on those that you star your favorite digital cards that you've gotten. So I think that's a really a good use of that button and a good feature there that people can star easily the players that they're interested in and tracking there. So I like that. I like that addition. And I think that there's just even me with the amount of time I've spent with the development builds just to stumble on something new just now. I think that that's really going to be fun for everybody once they get their hands on the game. Obviously, the interface is totally overhauled, so the game is going to feel brand new as they walk through it. But they're going to find different different things that that they stumble onto and want to know what it is and what it does, and they're going to find all these little additions that you've put in that really make the game better. Here's one we just talked about today. I didn't see this in the earlier build too, but this rollover here that will pop up the what the ratings on the screen here are, and I think that's good, especially for the personality screen, so that you can just roll over this little help icon and figure out what you're looking at on the screen. So I think there's all these little touches in the game that just really separate it from where it's been in the past and make it so much more user friendly. I really, I really think that when everybody gets their hands on this very soon, that they're gonna find all these little things in the game that just are gonna excite them. That is they say, oh, this is cool, this is new, I haven't seen this before. So I'm really excited to see some more of this kind of stuff in the game.
Yeah, we've talked about it in the past where when you've been working on these kinds of games for as long as we have, and you're talking 10 plus years now that I've been in this code, you tend to forget what all it does. You forget features that you may have added, years ago, or you forget about something that somebody added or asked for that you added, and I just never used it. And then going through all of these screens and refactoring them and redoing them in the new UI, it reminds me of how much progress we've made on some of these things. And it reminds me of some features that we've added in the past that I'd completely forgotten about. And now we're able to highlight different things and make it more usable. So it's been fun to work on as we go.
Yeah, and that's funny because I do the same thing with the basketball games. I'll go in there, and every once in a while, I'll kind of have to go dig deep into the code and remember how something actually works because it's been in there so long. But I like the same kind of concept of trying to explain things as much as possible. Question from Seasoned Vet, one of our subscribers: will specific players fit better into certain schemes? Like, will a 4-3 defensive end be different than a 3-4 defensive end? Could these players be identified by player traits?
Yeah, it's possible. We haven't put together a list of all the player traits yet, but there are some in there that will boost defensive ends and linebackers or various players at certain positions that will actually make them a better fit for one defense over the other. In particular, if you wanted a rush end, there are some traits in there to give benefits to a DE if they're in a rush kind of defense, blitzing kind of defense versus the opposite, where you'd have DEs that drop more into coverage or linebackers that drop into coverage and things like that. So yeah, the player traits will have an effect on how those players are deployed in the game. As far as ratings and things go, there's not a whole lot of difference between them. A rush end might be a little bit faster, and a more hold the edge kind of rusher may be more strength and tackling based. So those are kinds of things that you guys as users get to play around with and have fun discovering which ones work best for your particular defensive styles.
So Berserk62 has a question about college, and that's going to lead me into my next topic here. On the performance tab for college players, sometimes the grades or ratings are left blank. What does this mean?
Yeah, that is either there's not enough information because they didn't play enough, or there's not enough information because when they did play, they didn't do anything particularly memorable. So they'll get basically a null grade at that point, and it'll leave that part blank. That's in the CF20 game.
So since we're talking about CF20, one thing that people really have been excited about in the pro basketball game has been the linked league option to the college game and all the new stuff that I'm doing there with that. We talked about some of the things that you're adding in to do the same type of linked thing with college football. I don't have anything to show on that, but you want to talk about some of the linked things that are coming to the games here?
Yeah, so I took a cue from you, and basically we're going to release a patched version of CF with, I think there's some minor things in there that we needed to fix. But while we were in there, I went ahead and added the linked league output. So as you're simming away in your college games, it'll generate a JSON file that then this game, that PF21, will be able to pick up on. Right now, we have things like being able to see the current standings of your college league. You'll be able to switch to that. There's a top 25 that you'll be able to see, and the newspaper also can get pulled in, so you can see the news from your linked league. It's one of those things that adds a little bit of flair to the game, so that people who like having their full ecosystem of college to pros will be able to take advantage of it. It's probably going to be refined over the coming weeks and months, and going into CF21 as we come up with new ideas on how we want to link the two leagues together even better. So yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm really happy to see that got built into Drafting Sports Pro Football 2021, because I'm having a lot of fun linking the two games. The two basketball games have linked for a couple of versions now, but it's been very basic, and all it did basically was pull in guys automatically when the season ended. And now we've expanded that capability coming in the pro basketball game to do that sort of stuff, where it pulls in the news articles and it pulls in the stats and the standings and stuff like that, so that you can use the college game just to sim. So you have like this deep, wide ecosystem, like you said, but you're focused in the pro game, and you can access everything you need to in the pro game. So it's really allowing you to focus on the pro game, but giving you a deep college world to back that up and to add into that. So I think that I'm really excited to see that happen and start playing around a little bit with the linked options. I haven't done it yet myself here in football, but if it works like we're doing in basketball, it's going to be a tremendous addition to the game. And then Berserk with a comment, going back to the college game that has yet to be upgraded. The good news there, Berserk, is that CF21 will be getting the new platform treatment and all these awesome new features. So while you can use CF20 to start with to do your linked league, you'll definitely want to grab CF21 when it comes out, so that you will have the same amazing experience from both games. And then let's see, seasoned vet, since position coaches will not be in the game, could a feature to hire within our team be implemented? Basically, the game would generate a cheap young position coach for us to promote to offensive or defensive coordinator instead of signing one on the market. Could be a good way to save money, as well as forming a coaching tree for yourself. It would be great if the AI could do the same.
Yeah, so we have that partially. So right now, if you don't hire anybody that's in your personal list, or we used to call it public and private, and that's all gone. Now it's either internal hires or general universe hires, stealing from another team or whatnot. So if you basically just hire no one, then the game will generate a really, really new coach with pretty low ratings, pretty low expectations, and we'll put that on your team just to fill the spot. It's not exactly what you're talking about, but that's kind of what we're going to have for now. And like I said, I think being able to hire and having that internal ranks and the public ranks is tweaked a little bit to make it a little easier to tell if you're trying to poach somebody from another team or whether you're basically hiring internal from somewhere that these other folks are not noticing. And we can keep working on it as we go, but that's kind of how it's set up for now.
So one thing I know you spent a lot of time on this week, Brooks, is the penalty system in the game. So why don't you tell everybody kind of what you've been working on under the hood with penalties, and also what they're going to see with the game experience in terms of penalties.
Yeah, the penalty system needed a little bit of work. A lot of the logic was fine, but there are just some cases that I wasn't really satisfied with how it was working. So I needed to go in and do some updates to it. And since I was in there updating it anyway, I went ahead and added some prompts so that if a user is playing out the game, they'll be able to accept or decline the penalty. There's some wrinkles to it that I'm not super thrilled with. I wish that there was more that I could do in that arena, but it should get everybody to a point where they can at least accept and decline penalties. And I know a lot of folks have been asking for that. And in the meantime, we'll also be updating the AI so that it's not accepting or declining penalties that it shouldn't be. It's not going to be perfect because we kind of like having them be a little random at times, but that is on the list to tweak as we go forward.
I mean, I don't think any coach is perfect with the penalty calls, anyways. And besides, it's not like a coach in the NFL didn't choose to take the wind in an overtime game instead of the ball. So the mistakes that could be possible to happen, I think that's a good thing. I'm trying to play through a game here and see if I can pull up a penalty prompt for everybody. But I think that the people had talked about penalties, in a couple of our prior streams, and I think it's good that anything that we can do that gives them a little bit more control. And here we go. I've been able to generate one. So on this play, it will say there's a holding penalty on Norman Covington for 10 yards. Play result was 25 yards. Accept. So you can click no or yes. So you can have that choice and take the result of the play there. That's kind of how we've got it working right now. And I think that it's going to be, something good to give everybody a little bit extra detail, a little bit, something else that they can control during the game, which really is the point of playing out the 2D games, because if you want to coach, you want to be in control of that. So I know something else.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, yeah. The other thing that we tweaked with the penalties is, and I know the modders will be happy, but I added additional details around penalties so that you can mark penalties as like personal foul, dead ball kind of things. So they'll be applied after the result of a play. I know that was something that folks were asking for. And I also tried to tie penalties to positions so that you'll have delay of games on quarterbacks, and you won't have holding penalties on free safeties, and you just some things like that needed to be tweaked. The offense-defense split was pretty good, but even within those position groups, it was a little odd. I mean, having a quarterback being called for holding or whatever. So I went ahead and tweaked some of those things, and the modders will be able to get their hands on those files and tweak them even further if they so desire.
And talking about the modders, I mean, there's so many things that you can configure in the game. And one of the things you told me you're working on was configuring the Hall of Fame requirements. So obviously that was a request from somebody. So I know it's not in there just yet, but what are you working on in terms of that for everybody?
Yeah, so there's a system in there where you can click on a guy who's retired and go ahead and add him to the Hall of Fame. There's already a checkbox on there, so you can manually add them. But what people were finding is the configuration options for career yardage and touchdowns and things like that was not enough. There were some additional configurations that folks wanted to be able to do because they were seeing either too many people get in. I added something a few years ago where if you won a certain amount of Super Bowls or MVPs or whatever, the game would automatically put you in the Hall of Fame. And some leagues were noticing that there were just too many players going in that they didn't want in their Hall of Fame. So I made those things configurable. So if you don't want, Pro Bowlers to go in, or you want to require a Pro Bowler to have 8 Pro Bowl seasons or whatever before they get added in, it allows you to further restrict these things. It's just like I said. Now that we're in this new UI setup, it's a lot easier for me to add some more of these features and get them in. And as we do with every release, when people have good ideas or reasonable suggestions, we're pretty quick to be able to add things in as we're going through development and first access and even through patches going forward.
Yeah, this new platform, I can't say it enough. Sean Sullivan, who's he's been a game developer, and he goes way back, to doing utilities and stuff like that for some of the old front page sports games. Sean built a beautiful platform for us to use, his AU platform, and he's done a great job helping us, kind of learn the ropes with it, and and I like it when he'll contact me. He's doing some other work for us too in the background, helping me out with some stuff. But I like it when he tells me that he likes seeing what we're doing because it's what he envisioned the platform to be able to do. So I think we're making good use of what he's developed and what he's given us here, and it's really gonna make amazing games. You guys, I mean, if you played the basketball ones, you already know how great the platform is and the things we could start to do with it. If you haven't and you've been waiting for pro football, your wait will not be very long, and you're going to absolutely love it. So the last thing we wanted to cover in the stream, other than the first access announcement, is an addition to the free agency offering screen. Now Brooks has added that when you click on a player here, there's some additional information that shows up. So Brooks, why don't you tell everybody what that information is and why it's there?
Someone requested it. I don't remember if it was on our last stream or 2 streams ago, or if it came across on the forums, but I thought it was a good idea. I like being able to give more people information on the screen when they're working on a specific task. So this one, basically, we had the room, and as opposed to having to click buttons to figure out what your roster needs are, this one allows you to just click on different players, and it'll tell you, hey, here's what you have, here's what you need, and here's currently who's on the roster, or at least the top 3, so you know about what you're spending or whether you just have a complete lack of a particular player. So I thought it was a good idea, and we were able to get it in pretty quickly.
And that's been really such a blessing with doing these streams, is that we've gotten such great feedback in both the pro football and pro basketball streams. And I hope that everybody can see that when you're giving us, ideas or suggestions or feedback, that, as long as they're, they fit in with the design of things that we have and that we can do, we're listening and we turn them around and get these things in there pretty quickly, even stream to stream. There's things that we've added, asked one stream, and then a week later, we've been able to put it into the game and show it off in the next stream. So, I know for myself and Brooks that this has been super useful doing these streams, and I will definitely continue them going forward with the college developments and things like that. We've got some other ideas too that we're going to keep using Twitch for. But I know everybody has been eagerly awaiting their chance to get their hands on the game. So your time to wait is not much longer. So let me explain for those who are new how our first access program works. What we do is that we will release the game in pre-order status exclusively from WolverineStudios.com. You can't get it from Steam yet in a pre-order status. It only becomes available on Steam once the game is released. But if you go to our website once the game is available for first access and pre-order, immediately after you pre-order, you will get an email with your license key and the download link, and you'll be able to download playable betas from the time that the first access begins up until we're ready to officially launch the game. And at that point, you just update to the release version. So when you do this, there is a coupon code that will be available that you can get a discount for pre-ordering the game. If you ordered the prior version from us, if you ordered Pro Football 2020 from us, you'll get an additional a special code sent to you that gives you a little bit larger discount for buying the next year's version again. And again, that's only for people who bought them from Wolverine Studios. If you've bought it on Steam, we can't offer the discount there. But if you bought Pro Football 2020 from us, you'll get a link with a special discount code to pre-order. And along with the pre-order, you also will get a complimentary Steam key for the game. So if you do want to play on Steam, but you want to get your hands on the pre-order, you can pre-order from us. You'll get the download key to play our version during the beta, during first access, and then after that, there'll be a way that you can claim your Steam key, and then you can download the full version on Steam and go on from there. So hopefully we'll have the mod community get ready and be ready to have things to go during first access, which will be very soon. First access is going to begin on September 1st. Okay, so Tuesday, September 1st will be the day. What we're going to do is we're going to have some kind of launch first access Twitch party. We're going to figure that out. Typically Tuesdays are the day that we do the developer dynasty for basketball, so we won't do it that day, and we will not do a developer dynasty for pro football next Friday. So this will be the last developer dynasty for Drafty Sports Pro Football 2021 before we move into the first access period. So a week from Tuesday, first access will begin. You'll be able to log on. You'll be able to to get your pre-order in, download the game, and start playing, start looking around and seeing what a great game it is. Of course, we do say, we do remind you during first access, it is a beta. At that point, you will possibly encounter bugs or stuff like that you can report, and we fix them up. And really the reason that we started doing it this way is because we're still a small studio and a small team, and we don't have hundreds of people who can beta test and stuff like that. So we offer a small discount if you want to pre-order, and you can get your hands on the game. You can start playing around, and then it helps us because we have a larger pool of people who are testing these final betas and stuff like that. So Tuesday, September 1st will be the day. We'll do some type of Twitch thing here. So hopefully after you get the game, you can come in Twitch and tell us what you're doing with it, and how you're playing, and how much fun you're having, and how much you love it on day one. So I'm really excited for that. I know Brooks and Asger have done a great job getting the game on this new platform. Brooks has put in so much work doing this. I mean, this is a complete rebuild of the game with a bunch of new features. Too many to list. We'll try to list some of them if you missed past streams on the website, but you can always go back and check out the prior streams and stuff like that, either on Twitch or our YouTube channel, if you want to see the full development arc since we started doing these. But September 1st will be the day. So everybody, I hope you're excited about that. I know Margon is Pro Basketball 2021 out. No, Pro Basketball 2021 is later in the year. We don't have a launch date for first access or release date for that yet. Pro Football 2021 will be the first release in our 2021 calendar, and September 1st, Tuesday, will be the day that you can get first access starting. We don't have the final release date. We kind of, if you're waiting for the final release build, what we do is we basically go through first access and see how things move along there, and see if there's anything to work out, and then we decide that it's good, and then it's released. So I want to thank Brooks, as always, for taking the time to be with us this week and explain what he's been working on. Thank all of our followers and our subscribers and everybody who came to the stream tonight. I'm really excited with the support we've had through Twitch here. And I see Morgan says he's been looking for a successor to front office football with a better UI for a long time. I mean, you can see the UI here. This is going to be the best UI you've seen in a football game for sure. Texan football game. You're not going to find a better UI than this that's been done. So we hope that you'll be a day one first access purchase. Berserk says he's going to be a first day purchase. So we will be very excited. So the next time we'll all be getting together here in our Twitch channel for football will be September 1st. First access day. We'll have a little first access launch party here on Twitch. And, I can't wait. I know Brooks is excited. I know we've got a lot of viewers who are excited to get their hands on the game here. And your wait is not too much longer now at this point. So thanks everybody for coming tonight and being a part of the stream. And we will see you on September 1st, Tuesday, for a Twitch launch party for First Access. Thanks everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you very, very soon as we get ready to start First Access on Draft Day Sports Pro Football 2021.